So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make an amazing buttercream that's great for simple swirls or really technical outcomes. And when I say technical, I mean something as beautiful and as technical as this one. This buttercream recipe is the one we're going to be looking at today, because I know just how frustrating it can actually be to spend all of that time pulling your resources and your time into following someone's recipe. You get to the end and you think, this looks nothing like what you just showed me, but I've done exactly what you did. By the end of this video, I'm going to have shown you all those little tips and tricks that you don't see in other tutorials, so you can get this kind of outcome. There are a few critical steps that make a big difference to the outcome of your buttercream. Now, one of them is making sure that your butter is at room temperature. And when I say room temperature, I mean you can pop your finger into it and easily leave an indent. You don't want it that soft that it's almost melted, and you don't want to have to be forcing your way into the butter. It needs another half hour or an hour at room temperature. It makes a big difference because the creaming process takes quite a while, and if you don't have the butter at the right temperature when you get started, it almost won't come together at the end the way you want it to. So what we're going to do is start that creaming process by just cutting off little chunks, popping it in our kitchen mix. Now, depending on what particular brand you have will depend on how long this process may take. Some are just a little bit more efficient than others is all. I'll show you though what the color you're looking for and the consistency you're looking for, so you'll know regardless of what machine you're using, what outcome you're looking for. All right, so we're going to start on a low speed just to break up those slices of butter that we popped in there. Step it up a little bit. Now, this setting is what I would call medium high. It's not the highest end, but it's pretty close. This is going to take a while now, so I'll check back in with you in about 10 minutes. I'll show you the difference from the butter we put in to where we are at that point. Okay, we're about 10 minutes in. Let's take a look. Ooh, you can already see what a difference that is from the butter we started off with. So at this point, what we want to do is just give a good scrape down to make sure that there are no pockets of butter that are somehow being missed, particularly right down at the bottom. Give that a bit of a stir, pop it back on again. And then we want to go another 5 or 10 minutes. For this mix, given how white and creamy it already is, I think I only need to give this about another 5 minutes, but you'll be able to tell from yours if it's not really light and creamy like this at this point, maybe another 10 minutes. But if you're at this stage, another 5 is all we'll need. So I'll catch you back in 5 minutes. Okay, this is looking really good. Let's take a look. Oh, amazing. This is exactly what we're after. It's light, it's thick, it's creamy. You could mistake this for whipped cream. So we're at the point now that we want to start adding the rest of our ingredients. I have a kilo of icing sugar here that I have pre-sifted. I use quite a thin sift because I like to make sure that all of those clumps are out. It really helps to make sure that our very aerated butter can now mix very, very well with our icing sugar. And a part of that is making sure that there are no clumps. So we'll add it slowly in batches. That will also make sure that we don't punch all of that air that we've just spent 20 minutes putting into our butter. So nice and slow wins the show on this one. Now, if you don't want a big icing sugar cloud in your kitchen, start on low. Let the butter catch your icing sugar first, and then mix it through. I'm going to give each addition about 10 seconds and then keep adding and keep adding. So I will come back to you at the end of this so I don't waste your time. Okay, at this point we've added all our icing sugar. Let's take a look. Oh, heavy. It's quite a thick mix, as you can see. Very aerated, very well mixed. Comes out very, very smooth. So it's at this point that you can add what I would call the optionals to your mix. So for me, the optionals constitute any kind of essence. I like to put vanilla essence in mine. You can put banana or caramel, whatever you prefer. And I like to add thickened cream to mine. Now, if you are making this icing commercially, depending on your area, you may not be able to use an icing that has cream in it, so you would skip this mix. But for something that you're using for your own recipe, I would highly recommend adding some thickened cream and a little bit of flavoring in here. So I'm not going to add the whole lot in one hit, half at a go. And I like to put the essence in with the cream because it just enables a bit more of an even distribution as you're mixing it through. Look how light and creamy that is. Now, as you can see, it's still quite aerated, and this is why I would now recommend that you allow this to sit for about an hour before you pipe it. Okay, so we've let it sit for about an hour, and a lot of these air pockets are pushed out now. Now, this will keep in the fridge for about 3 days, depending on whether you did or didn't use the cream. 3 days maximum for the cream at the absolute most. Without the cream though, several days more, so up to a week. And you can even store it in the freezer and bring it back out again later. So, you know, if you have leftover icing, don't waste it. Pop it in something that's airtight and freeze it for a later date. Now, this is great for, as I said, simple swirls or really intricate designs. If you want to come over to this next video with me, I'm going to go and show you how to take this, pop some colouring into it and turn it into amazing looking cupcakes. I'll see you over there.